Many of the men and women who risk their lives to save others don't fight fire as a full-time job. A lot of Oklahoma towns rely on volunteer fire departments, staffed by people who have other occupations they balance with fighting flames. StateImpact Oklahoma has reported on these departments and their volunteers, and I spoke with StateImpact's Joe Wertz about the strain huge wildfires put on them. Joe, how are firefighters holding up?
Well, it's been rough. It's been a very busy season. The droughts extended the season. Usually the bulk of the firefighting activity is in April, late winter, early spring, but it's drier and hotter out there, and they've been working a lot of hours, and it's a lot of wear and tear on the people and the equipment.
A lot of those that are fighting these wildfires are volunteers.
A lot in Oklahoma, especially recently. The fires last weekend down near Slaughterville and in Cleveland County were really mostly volunteer fire brigades down there. So you had Little Axe and Slaughterville. These are all volunteer firefighters, all out there in the communities trying to keep a check on some of these rural fires.
What does it mean to be a volunteer firefighter?
Well, it means a lot of the same things it does for regular firefighters. It's dangerous, hot, hard work, but for these people, it's also a wear and tear on them and their families. These are men and women that have other jobs and other lives. They work a full week, and then they've got to go do this. You know, like last week, for example, the fire got kicked off, Friday night and didn't stop until late Sunday. So the whole weekend for these men and women is, Friday rolls around and then they got to go fight a fire, and they're working all weekend until, late Sunday night. So really, their lives are kind of put on hold to go do this job.
I know you've talked to some of them. How do they manage?
Well, they manage, I think they're really bolstered a lot by being part of a team and being out there working with each other. I think a lot of them have been there a really long time, 20 years, 30 years, really committed to doing this. And the community really supports them. When I was out in Slaughterville this week, and people just coming by the fire station nonstop, dropping off water, dropping off Gatorade, rags to dip in water and tie around their neck to cool off. They had a whole storeroom full of stuff. So I think the combination of the teamwork and the crew and the community support, I think it's really something they need out there and well supported.
How well equipped are they?
Well, not real well equipped. They do have equipment, they do have gear, but it's certainly not a metro fire station. These are, old trucks, old equipment, none of the fancy things. And firefighting in rural Oklahoma is, it's bulldozers and shovels and digging trenches and turning dirt over. This is just hard manual work. It's, not as high tech as you might see in a lot of places. This is just moving dirt around and chopping things down. It's hard manual work.
Are they adequately trained to fight these massive fires?
Well, sure. Volunteer firefighters in Oklahoma all go through training. They are trained, and like I said, a lot of them have been there a really, really long time. They are trained, and a lot of them have jobs that provide extra training. For example, one gentleman I talked to also works for the Power Collective out there, so that's kind of a dual role. He's able to, he's got experience working out there in the field, and there's a lot of electrical issues with fires, as you might imagine. So yeah, these people are trained. They're out there in the community, and they know the area, and that's a big help too. These are a lot of little side roads and rough terrain out there, and I think they're able to embed in a good way and take care of it.
It's clearly a burden on them and a burden on their employers, but they come together and get it done.
Yes, absolutely.
Joe Wertz from StateImpact Oklahoma, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dick.